So, this video is going to be pick your door, 1, 2, or 3. 1 being electric, 2 being nitro, 3 being gas. All 3 of them have maintenance. Of course, the nitro and the gas is going to have more maintenance, but not as much as you would think. I'm going to start off with electric, and that will be my trusty slash. Taking the shell off. This is a Slash Platinum. Came with a Volinion system, but changed that out to a Castle Mamba Max Pro with a 3800 kV motor. Has a 40C 5000 mAh battery. Pro line trenchers. Quite a few upgrades. But this isn't about the vehicles. This is about, if you're getting into the hobby, what are you going to want? Electric, nitro, or gas? The question is, I mean, I've been asked this many times. The question is, how much work do you want to do before, during, and after? With electric vehicles, you're going to have all electric components. You're going to have a high capacity battery usually. This is a 5000 mAh battery that will power your ESC. I have the Volinion system. I just don't use it because it's just not a quality product, just like the VXL 6S that comes in the X-Max. It catches fire. It overheats. Problems nonstop. That's why I put the Castle XLX ESC with the Castle 2028 motor in it. If I could put a gas engine in it, I would. But there's not enough room between the frame rails. Well, not frame rails, but the top part where you put shit. Now with electric, of course everybody is going to say, well, there's really not that much maintenance that goes on with electric. Yes, there is. If it tumbles, you're going to have to set your links back up because you're going to have to set your alignment. If you decide to upgrade it, you're going to have to make all the upgrades work together. Mine has quite a few upgrades. Still getting more. STRC, Techno. Still running the 2075 servo. That's getting replaced next. Also going to a Techno drive shaft because I don't like this tube design. I'd rather have a solid shaft. But with electric, a lot of people say, well, all I have to do is buy a battery and I'm good. True, but not true. With electric, especially LiPo batteries, with electric you have 2 choices of batteries. Nickel metal hydride, which after about 5 or 10 minutes of use, you are going to see a dramatic drop in performance. Well, not a dramatic, but you will see a noticeable drop because the voltage is going to drop. That's when you look at LiPo. The biggest thing with LiPo is they are the most dangerous batteries in the world. If you overcharge them, if you discharge them, if they have a hard impact, if they puff, basically you're going to have to spend another between $50 and $150, possibly even $200 for a very good, I mean, I was just talking with someone about Florion batteries. They've come out here lately, very good batteries. You've got Max Amps, Gens Ace, but those are so damn expensive. I personally like Venom and Bias batteries because within the first year, if anything goes wrong, they replace for free. After the first year, if anything goes wrong, you pay half price for a brand new battery. Bias batteries and Venom batteries are both made by Atomic RC. Personally, I like nitro and gas. I like knowing the fact that, okay, I can rebuild the engine and fix it. If an electric motor goes out, usually you have to repair it. If an ESC goes out, you not repair it, you have to replace it. If an ESC goes out, you have to replace it. If a nitro motor goes out, you rebuild it. But if you're looking at getting something for yourself that you just want to have some fun with every now and then, an electric is the best way to go. And honestly, that's sad to me because so many people are getting RC vehicles and they're really not looking to spend a lot of time in the maintenance part of it. And honestly, to me, that's one of the funnest parts. You really get to learn a lot about your vehicle. But you also have those people out there that just want to have fun bashing, but if you bash, you are going to break shit. That's the one thing I love about the Slash. It is a very solid platform. It is very well known. A lot of aftermarket products. I mean, you have STRC, Integy. I don't really like Integy. I prefer STRC or stuff like that. But, I mean, people always say, well, I have batteries. Well, guess what? A nitro can run all day. People say, no, they can't. Yes, they can, and I have proof. You can run a nitro non-stop for 6 hours. I know someone who has done it. He documented it. And this was just a TRX 3.3, which is this motor right here. But we'll get to nitro in a second. First, going to stay on electric. You're going to want to waterproof everything if it's not waterproof, because you definitely, I mean, going through water and stuff like that. But with electric, the maintenance mainly is going to be bearings. With the Slash, you're going to have, the Slash comes with plastic drive shafts. A set of MIP X Duty, you're looking at about $65, $70 for just 2 axles, so $140 all around. The Race Duty, I've been told, can only take up to 2S, so that's 8.4 volts. 8.4 volts fully charged. And if you don't have all the batteries in the world, guess what? As soon as the battery dies, you have to stop, you have to charge, and usually with the 5,000 milliamp, if you don't have a good, you're going to need a good charger. Charger runs $150 unless you get a cheapo. I prefer the duos because you can run 2 hours at 2 batteries at 10 amps. But never overcharge your batteries. If you overcharge your batteries, you got to remember LiPos are the most dangerous batteries in the world. If you overcharge, possible fire. Over discharge, possible fire in your vehicle. If somehow you get the wiring wrong and you hook positive to negative and negative to positive to your ESC, you're going to fry out your ESC. So there's so many different things that can go wrong, but electric, you do have a little bit less maintenance. Now, to nitro. I mean, things are going to break. That is one thing with the RC. A very good saying is you have to pay to play. You're never going to be able to get into the RC world and not have anything break unless you baby the shit out of them. Close to the end of this video, I'll show my X-Max. It's sitting right now because the front diff pinion, 2 teeth broke off of the pinion gear, completely opposite of each other. A lot of people have also asked, I have a lot of people that ask me questions because I'm on so many groups in X-Max and on Facebook, so I know a lot of people come to me because I have all the how-to videos on the X-Max. I know a lot. I've been in the hobby for 3 years altogether. My very first RC was this right here. This is the Phantom FC40, the very first DJI Phantom. I also have a Phantom 3. It's just the standard. That's all I need. I don't need any professional or advanced. I'm not looking to break the law and go, well, break regulations and go a mile or two out, although I have gone 6,000 feet out on a good day. It all depends on how well the standard works on a Wi-Fi signal, but the advanced and the professional works on a light bridge signal, so you're controlling with, I believe, 2.4 gigahertz and getting video back 5.8 gigahertz, so it's a lot better. So that is electric. I have one vehicle that I know I have built up, very tough. I have videos on it, and that is my my SCX-10. Top speed is 4 to 5 mile an hour. Now here, that's probably not in the camera view, so give me 1 second. I'm taking the shell off. This is a T-Max. I have upgraded it, upgraded all the servos. I'm in the process of buying a big block, but this is a Nitro. Again, you're going to have to deal with electronics because you have to have some type of electric to power your servos and your receiver. It's basically known as a RX battery or a receiver battery. But back here is the motor. This motor right here is the same motor as this right here. This just is in a chassis, and it doesn't have a pull start or the easy start on it right now. The maintenance with these is in time, depending how many gallons or how much runtime you have on it. These work somewhat like a two-stroke diesel engines, except two-stroke diesel engines use mechanical fuel injectors to shoot fuel in at a certain time. With these, you have the carburetor that basically a scavenging effect is created by the exhaust. The exhaust leaves the combustion chamber in such a fast way that a vacuum is created in the combustion chamber, which then sucks in the fuel. It goes down into the crankcase and then comes up these three. With this, it's only a 3-port sleeve and block. This is the 3.3R. So, and also you have a glow plug. So this works on compression and a glow plug. So you have no spark. With this, you're going to have the same thing with electrics. Yeah, your bearings, but you're also going to have what's called periodic maintenance. Your air filter, you're going to have to clean out about every hour to 2 hours. I have a couple air filters, but basically you just use Dawn and a bowl and you just clean them out very well. The same with gas. You also need a air filter oil. And up under the crankshaft on the front of a Nitro motor, you have what's called the clutch bell. They work very similar to drum brakes on a vehicle, usually on the rear of new vehicles, but new vehicles are even moving to disc brakes because those are the best. But you have these two little black shoes, and it has a spring wrapped around it. At a certain RPM, they start expanding out and hitting the inside of this clutch belt. That then, it has gears on it. It touches your spur gear and spins it, which in turn spins your transmission, your spur gear, then spin your transmission, which then sends power to your wheels. I have the reverse kit on mine. I've got quite a few things on my X-Max. I've got the Venom, I believe it's 3,500 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride battery as my receiver battery. It's up under this gray box where my thumb's at. And you can see the air filter. It's pink because I use K&N air filter oil. It works great. It's all I've ever used. So that's the thing with nitros. You are going to have a lot more maintenance with these. And also a lot of people, when I originally got into it, I was told that you're going to have to set the carb every time the temperature changes. Actually, nowadays, no, you're not. Carburetors are very efficient nowadays. You may have to tweak it slightly, but there's two screws, your low speed and your high speed, and then you have your idle. I mean, the idle usually stays where it's set. You just have to get it so it idles right, and then the high speed is for when you floor it. That meters how much fuel goes in when the throttle is completely open. So that's nitros. You're going to have to do your diffs. Same thing as electric. Your bearings, basically all moving parts. And yet again, the T-Max comes with plastic drive shafts. That's why LEM, Leading Edge Machining, came out with some 7075 T6 aluminum drive shafts. That is about the best aluminum you can get. T6 stamp basically means first run. There's no impurities or anything. So that is nitro. And after nitro, if you like that, then you get into gas. Here's gas. This is a Baja 5B, rear wheel drive, only rear wheel drive. Same thing with nitro. You're going to have a carburetor. You have a 2-stroke engine, basically out of a lawnmower. This has a 29cc engine. It has a Thor pipe from King Motor Racing that only gives me more low-end torque. But yet again, the motors don't have an alternator on them like an actual car, so you're going to have a battery inside of this, which right up here, you can't see it because the body is covering the whatever tiny bit of body there is, but there's a body over a receiver box, and the throttle and brake servo and the steering servo attaches to that box, and then it clamps down onto the frame rails. With these are much more forgiving because they have bigger parts, but they're also more expensive because, again, bigger parts, more material, more labor to create them. The only problem I've had with this is a notorious problem with the 5B, the dog bone pins. Instead of the pin being built into the dog bone, you can actually replace them. I use Milwaukee Cobalt drill bits, and then I cut them down to the right length, and then I carve out the little space for the set screw to hold it in place, and they work great. No flat spots. That's the biggest thing, is it's flat spots, and then all of a sudden you get on the gas, a sudden jolt to the out drives, and you can break shit. But again, you have a carburetor, air filter that you're going to have to clean. I have, when I bought this, it came with 3. It wasn't built correctly because I got it from a doctor. I fixed all the problems. I completely rebuilt the brake assembly. But again, you have a clutch and a clutch bell. At a certain RPM, the clutch expands, touch the inside of the clutch bell, starts spinning it, which in turn starts spinning the transmission. I need to check the viewfinder to make sure I haven't gone over my time. Nope, I'm good. And then I have other vehicles. This is my SEX10. Top speed only about 4 or 5 mile an hour. It's a trail truck. It's a rock crawler. It is not meant for speed. I've got some stuff to do with the receiver, but not a big deal. Just plug in some wires and it's good to go. But now I'll give a tour of things that aren't running at the moment. My T-Max. This right here, let's see if we can get it to focus. Come on, bastard. Focus. There we go. You can see right there and right there, 2 teeth broke off. Traxxas does not warranty their upgrade parts, their TRX parts. So you break this, you're out $30, which really isn't that bad. If someone asks me Should I upgrade to these diffs? Honestly, I would say no. Just shim your diffs. I have a video on how to do that. I just didn't do it because I was installing these. Other vehicles, my Nitro Rustler. This also has a 3.3 in it. I changed out the 2.5 to a 3.3, hell of a lot faster. I also changed the gearing because a 3.3 is more efficient and can take more torque. There's the body for my SCX-10. My HPI RS4 Sport 3 Flux. My HPI RS4 Sport 3 Drift with a Mama Max Pro and 3800 kV motor. And then an Exceed RC Drift Star, again with a, this has a Sidewinder ESC with a 7700 kV motor. On 3S, it does 102 miles per hour. I have beefed up the suspension and the A-arms and everything with aluminum, so it can take that. And there's my X-Max cover, a lot of parts out. That tape right there is what I use to tape the inside of my tires. It's known as Gorilla Tape. It's duct tape on steroids. So, the main question that I usually get is, should I get nitro or electric? Well, it all depends on how much work you want to do. Electric, all you got to do mainly is worry about your bearings and your electronics. But you got to be careful with LiPo batteries, and you have to buy batteries, charger. If your ESC and motor goes out, there's no rebuilding it. There's replacing it. That's it. Make sure you get it from a good warranty place that stands behind their products, because I hate to say, Traxxas doesn't stand behind their upgraded products. And by the way, the shroud on top of my X-Max is the Dusty Motor shroud. That's to make sure I keep dust and dirt and sand out of it, to keep all the fans going. There's just, and then nitro, if someone wants to get into nitro, I tell them straight out, well, you realize you're going to have to break in, you have to break the motor in. You can't with an electric. You can get home, plug batteries in, go, have fun. Nitro, you have to put fuel in, and you have to run 3 to 5 tanks through it, because you have to basically polish the piston and the sleeve polishes each other together to each other, and it creates a very good seal. It's basically like breaking in a full-size engine. You have to break it in. I absolutely love my T-Max. I really can't choose a favorite. I love electric because of the ease of use. I love the nitro because the power, I can hear and see the power. I love the smell of it. And then I have the 2-stroke Baja. Absolutely love the smell of it. And also the sound. I mean, it sounds just so fucking evil. Just that 2-stroke sound coming out of an RC vehicle. Really, it's something that you can't really, even on videos, you can't experience until you actually hear it in person. So basically, when it comes to this stuff, if you don't want to do all these upgrades to a Slash, get a Techno. If you don't want to do a lot of upgrades to a T-Max, I hate to say this, look up Magneto. I don't mind saying this. You can look up a Magneto, a Super Max, Gorilla Max, Phantom, E-Ghost, Uncle Ben's, ONCLE-BENS. He's out of France, I believe. They have a group on Facebook known as Central E-Max, but Central Max, and they have the best parts. But even when you build one completely out of aluminum and titanium, shit's going to break. Shit is always going to break with an RC vehicle, because I mean, we beat the hell out of them. That's part of the fun. And you're going to have downtime. A part breaks, replace it. A very big saying with RC crowds is you have to pay to play. That's just part of the hobby. You have to pay to replace parts that break because they are going to break. But just an overview with electrics, you're going to need batteries, ESC, motor, and basically the biggest thing with it is just keep your bearings clean and watch your LiPo. Biggest thing, LiPos are very dangerous. If you don't want to go to LiPo, go to nickel metal hydride. You don't get the same performance. Nitros, you're going to have periodic maintenance with the clutch shoes and the air filter, but after every run you need to put some after run oil in it to protect the motor from the fuel that's put in it is a 20% is a blend 20% nitromethane and 80% methanol, or there's 33% with 67% methanol. That's a more powerful fuel, but it's very bad on these engines if you just let it sit. So always afterwards do after run and make sure your air filter's clean. And that's basically the same thing with gas. Make sure everything's clean all the time, or you're gonna pay for it. So that's basically it. So choose your poison: electric, nitro, or gas. I prefer gas and nitro. I love electrics. I love my electrics, but I mean, they're fun that I can just plug in and go, but at the same time, you can't replace an internal combustion engine, especially in the early 90s. So that's basically it for this video. Got any questions? Like usual, comment down below. I'll do what I can to answer them.